So for lesson 2, it is all about rational expressions. So by the end of this lesson, you'll be able to simplify or reduce rational expressions into lowest term, or simply in its simplest form or simplified na version. The next, you'll be able to perform multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction of rational expressions. And then, use the least common multiple method. So, yung least common multiple method class, importante to kapag mag-simplify ka ng rational expressions. And then, finally, you'll be able to simplify mixed quotients. Wherein this mixed quotients right here is very important, especially in your calculus subject. Kasi, ma-meet nyo to kapag nag-take na kayo ng derivative of a product or a quotient of two expressions. So, please remember this kasi important ito sa higher mathematics ninyo. So, before going to the properties of rational expression, so what are rational expression again, class? Remember, we already discussed about rational numbers. And rational numbers are expressed into P over Q, wherein both are integers, and Q must not be equal to 0. That's why on our previous examples, we always indicate some constraints na kailangan yung denominator natin hindi siya mag-equal to 0. Why? Because it will make the entire thing indeterminate. The same true with our rational expressions. Rational expressions are mostly fraction in nature. So, fraction siya. It means that you have an expression on the numerator and also another expression on the denominator. So, ganun yun siya. So, as far as Module 3, we already discussed 3 types of expressions. We have first the algebraic expression. So, ito yung pinaka-principal sa lahat ng mga expression. Because algebraic expressions are composed of variables, numbers, grouped together by the different fundamental operations. Could be addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Then the next one is, of course, yung tinatawag natin na polynomial expression. So, polynomial expression, it is an algebraic expression that does not have any variable on the denominator. So, numerator lang, wala siyang fraction. So, meaning, in other words, polynomial expression does not contain any fractional exponents. So, ang iyang exponent lang, class, is always positive integer, including 0. Kasi kapag mag-negative na siya, there's a chance na magiging rational expression na siya. So, yung last is the rational expression. So, ito lang as far as we know. Ito pa lang muna yung mga na familiarize natin sa ating discussion since Module 1, itong tatlo, algebraic, polynomial, and rational expression. So, for rational, it is mostly in fraction form that can be expressed as an expression of the numerator and the expression of the denominator. So, let's simplify rational expressions. So, in simplifying rational expressions, since it involves fraction, you have numerator and the denominator. So again, class, una mong gawin is that you need to factor out the common. Kasi kapag i-factor out mo yung common, it would be easier for you to simplify it or convert it into its simplest form. So, like in its purest form na yun na siya, it cannot be broken down into smaller prime numbers or smaller factors. Parang ganun. So, to visualize that, let's have an example. Let's say you are given x minus 5. So, x minus 5 all over 10 minus 2x. So, here, the numerator is already in its simplest form kasi x minus 5, wala na tayong magagawa dyan. How about the denominator? As you've noticed, yung 10 tsaka 2 may common sila. Kasi diba yung 10 is a factor of 5 times 2. So, we write that one, x minus 5 all over 5 times 2 minus 2x. So, since common yung 2, if-factor out natin yung 2. So, we have 2 times 5 minus x. So, class, iba pa rin siya kasi sa numerator x minus 5, the denominator is 5 minus x. How about if we're going to factor the negative 1 of the numerator? Yung negative 1 times, magiging 5 na ito. Yung 5, in-extra ka natin yung negative, magiging positive. How about our x? In-extra ka na negative, magiging negative. So, 5 minus x. All over 2 times 5 minus x. Here, meron ng common sa numerator sa denominator. Then, we can now cancel them. What's left is just equal to negative 1/2. So, ito lang class. Simple as that. Ganyan lang pag-simplify ng rational expression. How about if we're given another example? Let's say for our second example, we have the simplest form. Pinaka-simple, monomial lang. 18y squared all over 60y to the 5th. 18 is a factor of 6 times 3, diba? 6 times 3, then y squared. And for 60, that is the factor of 6 and 10. So, diba, may common sila. May 6 sa itaas, may 6 sa ibaba. Then, ang y to the 5 can be rewritten as y squared times y cubed. Kasi, diba, 2 plus 3 is just 5. So, common yung 6, makancel. Common yung y squared, makancel. So, what's left is 3 all over 10 y cubed. So, this is now its simplest form. So, my question. Okay, so let's proceed to the next example. How about if you are given a expression on the numerator that is a trinomial? So let's say we have x squared plus 4x minus 12 all over x squared minus 4x plus 4. Here, class, wala tayong common sa bawat isa. But we all know that this is a trinomial expression. Diba? Trinomial sa numerator, trinomial sa denominator. Then, there's a possibility that we can look for some factors sa ating trinomial dito. So, let's try to factor out the numerator. So, isa-isay natin one at a time. For the numerator, we have x squared plus 4x minus 12. So, again, class, I told you that importante talaga na alam niyo yung pag-factor, how to factor out trinomials and the other forms. So, here, since wala tayong coefficient sa leading term natin, yung x squared, walang coefficient. So, you just simply write x here. So, i-apply natin yung FOIL method, ha? Then, in this case, try to look at the factor of the last term, this negative 12. Mag-try tayo ng factor niya na kapag i-add natin will result to the coefficient of the second term or the middle term. So, we have factor of negative 12. We have negative 12 and 1. So, i-add mo siya. Negative 12 plus 1 is negative 11. So, ang layo-layo. Let's try negative 4 and 3. So, i-add natin, negative 4 plus 3, negative 1, or 4 plus negative 3 is 1, malayo pa rin. How about the last? We have 6 and 2. So, negative 6 and 2. For negative 6 and 2, i-add mo siya, magiging negative 4. But, this is positive 4. So, let's just interchange na lang their sign. So, we have 6 and negative 2. The result is positive 4. So, you have here positive 6 and negative 2. So, that is for our numerator. How about for our denominator? We have here x squared minus 4x plus 4. So, again, walang coefficient yung first term natin or leading term. Just put here x and x. Then, try to find a factor of 4 that will result to negative 4. Actually, the positive 4 can be a factor of negative 2 and negative 2. Kasi kapag i-multiply mo siya, magiging positive 4. Then, if we add both negative 2 and negative 2, the result is negative 4. So, it satisfies our middle term. Therefore, we can use negative 2 and negative 2. So, ganun lang class. Now that we already have a factor for both numerators and denominator, then we can input this in our rational expression. So, we have for numerator, we have x plus 6 times x minus 2 and on the denominator we have x minus 2 times x minus 2. So a perfect square pala yung denominator natin. Then may common na x minus 2, so cancel out. What's left is x plus 6 all over x minus 2. So this would be our final answer. So may question tayo, may tanong. So wala. So let's proceed to adding or subtracting rational expressions. So for adding and subtracting rational expressions, always remember this class. Use this rule kapag nag-add tayo ng fraction. Let's say we have a over b plus c over b. The answer is just plus or minus pala ito, a plus or minus c all over b kapag similar fractions. How about the similar fraction? Let's say we have a over b plus or minus c over d. The answer is, you need to look first their LCD. The LCD here is just the product of b and d. So we have b times d, then b times d divided by b. The answer is d. Times a, we have ad. Next, again, b times d divided by d is b times c. You have the second term, plus or minus c, cb. Ganun lang pag perform kapag they have different denominators. So let's apply that one in our rational expression. Let's say you are given a rational expression. Our first example is x minus 3 all over x plus 2 minus x plus 4 all over x minus 2. Since they have different denominators, so just take the LCD or find for the LCD, and the LCD for them is just the product of their denominators. So we have x plus 2 times x minus 2. Then divide this one to the first denominator, then multiplied by the numerator. So we have x plus 2 times x minus 2 divided by x plus 2 is x minus 2. So we have x minus 2 times x minus 3 minus ito, divide by dito, what's left is x plus 2 multiplied by x plus 4. So we have on the second term x plus 4 times x plus 2. Then simplify the numerator. So follow the FOIL method. So for each, follow lang yung FOIL natin. Yung first is x squared. I-sum up mo yung outer tsaka inner. So negative 2x plus negative 3x. We have negative 5x. Then, multiply mo yung mga last term. Negative 2 times negative 3 is positive 6. Minus, you have here FOIL method. So first is x squared. I-add lang mo yung last tsaka, inner tsaka outer. So we have 4x plus 2x is equals to 6x. Then 4 times 2, the last is equals to 6. Yun lang, all over x plus 2 times x minus 2. So here, distribute this negative to each term right here. Distribute mo siya. So that is x squared minus 5x plus 6 minus x squared minus 6x minus 6. So here, as you've noticed, x squared minus x squared equals to 0. 6 minus 6, 0. So what's left is negative 5x minus 6x is equals to negative 12x. So over x plus 2 times x minus 2. So that would be equal to negative, 6 plus 5 pala, negative 6 plus negative 5 is negative 11 pala. Negative 11x all over x plus 2 all over x minus 2. Okay? My question? Ha? Okay, sorry. That is 8. Sorry. Okay, nabantayan. Mayo. So, di pala din makancel kasi 4 times 2 is 8. So, this is 8 and this is 8. So, this is 6. So, thank you. So, we have here 6 minus 8 is negative 2. So, the answer is negative 2 here. So, this is now your final answer. This is in factored form kasi may ibang mga factored, sorry. May ibang mga question kasi na nagsasabi, especially dun sa assessment nyo, you're just required the factored form. So, yung factored form, okay, ito yung forma niya. Factored form, meaning meron siya mga parenthesis. Parang, yung answer mo is the product of two expressions or two or more expressions. How about in simplest form? So, you can just simplify this as negative 11x minus 2 all over, gamitan mo ng FOIL. So, this is x squared plus 2x minus 2x, so 0, so magiging x squared. Sorry, delete muna natin, erase muna natin. This is equal to x squared minus 4. So, ito yung simplest form niya. This is the factored form. So, see the difference, class. Kapag sinasabing factored form, ito yung answer mo sa itaas. Kapag sinasabing simplest form or reduced to lowest term, ito yung answer mo. So, nag-gets ra, class? Nag-gets ra? I-reduce this one? Kani? 4 og tod sa ubos? Dili man siya ma-cancel or ma-reduce since the operation for both numerators and denominators are subtraction. Di man siya multiplication. Always remember that if yung operation ng numerator mo tsaka yung denominator is not multiplication, then you cannot manipulate this negative 2 here and negative 4. So, remain as it is na lang na siya. Okay ra? Okay, you're welcome. So, let's proceed to the next example. So, again ha, kapag factored form, you will express this one this way. This is the product of two or more expressions. While in the simplest form, i-simplify mo pa yung mga factored form mo. So, let's say we have here a second example. So, we have here 2 all over x plus 1 plus 2 all over x minus 1 plus 1 all over x squared minus 1. So, as you can see here, let's try to find out their LCD. So, ano bang LCD nila? Do you think the product of these three? Maybe yes, maybe no. But in order to simplify this easily, let's try to factor out the last denominator. Kasi yung last denominator natin dito is not in its prime factor or simplest form. Kasi yung x squared minus 1 can be factored out as x plus 1 times x minus 1. So, therefore, class, ano yung lowest denominator natin dito? Of course, ito yung x plus 1 times x minus 1. So, ito yun siya, x plus 1 times x minus 1. So, hindi pala yung product ng x plus 1, x minus 1 times x plus 1, x minus 1. Kasi magiging redundant na siya in the long run. So, this one is already enough. It's least common multiple sa lahat ng sa tatlo na fractions. So, again, perform the operation. So, x plus 1 divided by this. What's left is x minus 1 multiplied by 2. So, we have 2 times x minus 1 plus the same thing with our second fraction. So, x plus 1 times x minus 1 divided by x minus 1. What's left is x plus 1. So, we multiply 2 times x plus 1. For the final term, since x plus 1 times x minus 1 divided by x plus 1, x minus 1, this is 1 times 1 is equals to 1. So, plus 1 tayo, guys. So, again, in the next process, let's simplify the numerator since the numerator is much more complicated than the denominator. So let's simplify. So we have 2x minus 2. So dinidistribute ko tong 2 dito. Then next is i-distribute natin yung 2 sa middle term. So we have here plus 2x plus 2 plus 1 all over x plus 1 times x minus 1. So here, this is equal to 4x. So 4x, negative 2 plus 2, magiging 0 na siya. Therefore, what's left is 4x plus 1 all over x plus 1 times x minus 1. Class, this is the factored form. Factored form. How about the simplest form? Of course, we need to simplify the denominator kasi naka-factor pa to siya. So that is equal to 4x plus 1 all over x squared minus 1. This is the simplest form. So the simplest form. So class, see the difference? So nakikita nyo yung difference, class? So okay ra? Nasabtan ra? Okay, so let's go to multiplying and dividing rational expressions. So in multiplying and dividing rational expressions, mas easy rin siya. Kaya you just multiply the numerator and multiply the denominator. And also in division, of course, use this rule the same as in fraction. So, diba? If we have a over b divided by c over d, the resulting answer is proceed to multiplication, then take the reciprocal of your divisor times d over c. So, multiply the numerator ad times bc. So, ganito lang, class. Just apply this sa ating division. Kapag multiplication lang, straightforward lang. You just multiply the numerator and also the denominator. So let's try an example. How about if we have example number 1? We have here 3x. So we have here 3x plus 6 all over 5x squared multiplied by x all over x squared minus 4. So here, class, kapag nag-perform tayo, pwede mo i-factor out yung common, class. Or you can factor out the common. Or you can also factor each expression here. Let's say, i-factor mo yung 3x plus 6 kasi meron ka nakikita na common sa kanila. Or you can factor out x squared minus 4 kasi this is in a form of difference of two squares. You can also do that. So, let's try. So, i-factor out yung 3x plus 6 kasi may common tayo na 3. So, we now have 3 times x plus 2. Then, 5x squared. And then, the second one is, we have x. How about x squared minus 4? The factor is x plus 2 times x minus 2. So, as you've noticed, class, meron tayong common sa numerator at sa denominator na x plus 2. So, now, we can cancel both of them. How about for x? We also have 2x on the denominator. So, we can cancel one of its x. What's left is only 1x na lang dito. Kasi 1 minus 2 is 1. So, may 1 na lang sa denominator. How about sa 3? So, wala nang common. So, therefore, the answer is sa numerator, isa na lang. 3 na lang yung naiwan. So, 3. How about the denominator? We have 5x. Sulat mo, 5x times x minus 2. This is the factored form. How about sa simplified form? Of course, you need to simplify this. 5x times x plus 2. So, this is 5x squared minus 10x. So ito yung simplest form. Simplest form. So, nag-gets ra, class? Okay. So, let's try an example for division. Kasi diba dito multiplication lang. So again class, always find common factor, simplify. So ganun. Dapat yung foundation mo dito is factoring. Kapag may enough ka na foundation sa factoring, then it would be easier for you to simplify rational expressions under multiplication or division na operation. So let's try for division. How about if you're given this 9x squared plus 3x minus 2 all over 12x squared plus 5x minus 2 divided by 9x squared minus 6x plus 1 all over 8x squared minus 10x minus 3. So here we proceed to multiplication and just take the reciprocal of our divisor. So i-reciprocal lang natin to, reciprocal, just reciprocal this and then proceed to multiplication. So we have 9x squared plus 3x minus 2 all over 12x squared plus 5x minus 2, then multiply, then reciprocal this. So 8x squared minus 10x minus 3. So I already reciprocal this class sa divisor natin, all over 9x squared minus 6x plus 1. So class, ito yung pinaka-difficult na part. Bakit? Kapag hindi mo alam yung pag-factor out nito, then it would be very difficult for you to simplify this easily. Why? Kasi baka yung ano mo dito is just you multiply the numerator and also the denominator. Now, lalaki at lalaki yung terms mo. Aabot ito sa 6 terms. Yung numerator mo magiging 6 terms. Yung denominator mo magiging 6 terms. So, very confusing class. Hindi siya in its simplest form. So, what we're gonna do, we just factor out para mas madali tayo. So, what is the factor of this? 9x squared plus 3x minus 2. So, unahin natin. 9x squared plus 3x minus 2. So, it is a factor of 2 binomial. What is the factor of 9? We have 3 and 3. So, try natin. Lagay natin 3 and 3. How about for negative 2? This is negative 2 or 1. Now, we need to have 3 as the middle. So, let's try to manipulate this. Now, yung sagot natin is equals to 3 lang. So, how are we going to do that? So, if I'm going to put here 2, and if I'm going to put here 1, what's the resulting answer? The inner is negative 6, the outer is just 3. So, i-add natin, negative 6 plus 3 is equal to negative 3. Okay, medyo close lang siya sa sagot, pero positive lang. So, let's interchange na lang sa sign. So, automatic, itong 2 will be the positive and itong 1 would be negative. Para, yung sagot mo is positive 6 minus 3 is equals to positive 3. So, therefore, our factor pala for 9x squared plus 3x minus 2 is equals to 3x plus 2 times 3x minus 1. So, yan yung lalagay natin dito. So, we have 3x plus 2 times 3x minus 1. How about our denominator? 12x squared. So, here, let's erase muna natin to. So, we have 12x squared plus 5x minus 2. So, here I can use 4 and 3. So, diba? 4 and 3 or 6 and 2. So, it depends upon you. So, here we can say that 12 can be a factor of 4 and 3. The 2 could be negative 2 and 1. So, diba? Negative 2 and 1. So, if I'm going to put here negative 2 and here positive 1, so what's the answer? This is negative 6 and 4 times 1 is 4. The answer is negative 2. Okay, malayo na siya kasi 5 eh. So, let's try another one. Kasi diba, trial and error method to eh. So, how about if I'm going to change the sign? Let's say I will put here negative 1 and also here positive 2. So, here, this is negative 3. 4 times 2 is positive 8. Negative 3 plus 8, the answer is 5. So, therefore, ito pala yung factor natin for this example. So, we have, sulat muna natin, for our denominator, we have 4x minus 1 multiplied by 3x minus 2. So, yan yung method ng factoring na dinidiscuss ko from the second module. So just remember that one class. So here we have 8x squared. So we have here 8x squared minus 10x minus 3. So this is a product of two binomials. So for our 8, we have a lot of factors. It's either 4 times 2 or 8 times 1. So let's try with 4 times 2. So diba? 4 times 2. So I put here 4 and I put here 2. My question? Oh, yeah. Oh. Okay, thank you. This is positive 2. Sorry. So, thank you. This is 3x plus 2. So, thank you. So, okay, let's continue na. Okay, now, wala na question. Okay. So, here, meron tayong 4 tsaka 2. Then, for negative 3, of course, we have only, two factors for negative 3. We have negative 3 times 1. So, sulit natin negative 3 and 1. Or negative 1 times 3. So, i-try natin yan. I-manipulate natin. Pwede yung negative mauna, negative 3 mauna, or si 1 yung mauna, or si negative 1 mauna, or si 3 yung mahuli. So, it's up to you, class. As long as you arrive the perfect combination that will satisfy the value of our middle term. So, here, if I put here negative 1, or just 1 na lang, so let's try 1. So, this is positive 1. And on the second part, I will put negative 3. So, negative 3. Anong mangyayari? So, 2 times 1 is 2 for our inner. And for our outer is 4 times negative 3. We have negative 12. If we sum up 2 plus negative 12, the answer is negative 10. Therefore, we satisfy the value of our middle term. So, ito pala yung combination natin. We have 4x plus 1. Kasi di ba may x to dito, tapos may x din dito. Times 2x minus 3. All over. So, sa last na tayo. So, di ba it's a very long process. Pero kapag na-practice ka na sa pag-factor out, so it would be very easier for you. Kasi mamamap mo kaagad yung combination ng mga factors para masatisfy yung middle term. So, 6 plus 1. Here, for our 9 class, we have two factors. We have 3 times 3, 9, or 9 times 1. Let's try with 3 times 3. So, 3 and 3 here. How about for 1? You can have 1 times 1 or negative 1 times negative 1. Since meron ako nakikita na negative ito, there's a possibility that we can use this negative 1 and negative 1. Kasi kapag positive 1 tsaka positive 1 lahat, wala nang chance na mag-negative siya. So, just use the negative 1 kasi may malaki pa yung chance. So, if I put here negative 1 and then negative 1, what's the result? The inner is negative 3. The outer combination is negative 3. If we sum up both, we have negative 6. So, it already qualifies our value for our middle term. So, this would be our factor, 3x minus 1 times 3x minus 1. So, lagay natin dito. 3x minus 1 times 3x minus 1. So here, class, if factor out natin yung, i-cancel out natin yung mga common factors. So we have here 4x minus 1. We also have 3x plus 2. Ito. We also have 3x minus 1. And then, yun na. So, nothing more, nothing less. So, ano yung natitira? We only have 2x minus 3 all over 3x minus 1. So, class, nagets ra class? Ansa? Okay, okay. Ay, di na. Kasi, may, ano na yun, na-cancel na siya, ani. So, naka-cancel na siya diri. Meaning, walay counterpart ang 3x minus 1. Kasi, if we put here 1, exponent 1 and exponent 1, so ito lang siya, 1 minus 1 is equal to 0. So, matitira pa rin yung isang 3x minus 1. Wala na kasing ibang pair. Okay ra. How about the others? Okay. My question? Oh, thank you. Di siya makancel. Okay. Sorry. Di na to makancel ang 4x minus 1 and 4x plus 1. So, thank you. Very active. So, ulitin natin yung sagot. Thank you, ha. We have the final answer of 4x plus 1 times 2x minus 3. So, good job. Kasi nakikita nyo yung error. All over 4x minus 1 times 3x minus 1. So, this is our final answer. Again, class, unsa ni siya nga pagka-answer? This is in factored form. So, factored form. If we simplify this, so kayo na bahala. Gagamit lang kayo ng FOIL method. So, FOIL method. Use FOIL method na lang to simplify this. Kasi this is the product of two expressions. Kasi factor siya. So, do you have any question? So, thank you for confirming the errors. Kasi we cannot factor out pala 4x plus 1 and 4x minus 1. It's a different thing. Kahit ipa-factor out mo pa yung negative sa baba, hindi pa rin yan magiging positive. So, na-clarify na class? Do you have any question for this? So, wala na? Okay, so thank you. So, let's proceed to the difficult. Medyo difficult na to kasi hindi na tayo sa complex rational expressions. So, kapag sinasabing complex rational expressions, ito yung mga rational expression that does not contain a whole number expression on the numerator and a whole number expression on the denominator, but it contains another fraction in the numerator and another fraction on the denominator. It could be a fraction of a fraction of a fraction. So let's say we have 1 over x plus 1 over x all over 1 plus 1 over x divided by 1 plus x plus 1 minus 1 over x all over x. So, ito. Grabe na to ka-complex na expression na to. This is just a single term, a single rational expression, but very complex. So, how are we going to attack this type of rational expressions? So, we have two methods, class. And in order to prove that one, para ma-understand nyo, so let's have an example. Let's say you are given this. So, basic. Of course, start tayo sa basic. So, 1 plus 1 over x all over 1 minus 1 over x. Here, I will give to you the first method. So, ito yung tinatawag na method. Ito yung tinatawag na method, the patient method. Kasi sa patient method, of course, you will going to take one step at a time. So, unahin mo na yung numerator, then bago denominator, then simplify. So, very patient, very matagal. But, okay lang kasi it will avoid carelessness, it will avoid errors sa part mo. So, let's try the numerator. numerator, we have 1 plus 1 over x. Since we have a fraction and a whole number, in order to combine that one, you need to find the LCD. LCD is x. X divided by 1 is 1, kasi may itong over 1, times 1 is just x. Plus x divided by x equals to 1, times 1 is 1. So, x plus 1 over x, that is our numerator. How about our denominator? So, denominator. So, we have 1 minus 1 over x. Again, find its LCD. So, do the same operation. We have x divided by 1 is x times 1 is equals to x. X divided by x equals to 1 times 1 is equals to 1. So, we now have a value for our numerator and also our denominator. Then, substitute it to our original. So, for our numerator, we have x plus 1 all over x. Our denominator is x minus 1 all over x. Then, if we are going to divide two fractions, just proceed to multiplication, but take the reciprocal of our divisor. So, we have x plus 1 all over x times the reciprocal of this. That is x all over x minus 1. As you've noticed, my x sa itaas, my x sa baba. Cancel out na to. What's left is x plus 1 all over x minus 1. So, na-follow na class? Nuggets nyo? Okay, that is just a simple complex rational expression. How about if we're going to use method 2? So, sir, ano ba yung pangalawang method? Kasi may dalawang method dito eh. And it was also explained in your module. The second method is known as the least common multiple method. Kasi, i-find out mo kung ano yung LCD ng fractions na makikita mo sa numerator and the denominator. And I think both the numerator and the denominator have the same denominator. Diba? X, may x dito, diba? 1 over x, denominator lang is x. Dito naman over x, denominator is x. So, our LCM now is just x. And if ever meron na tayong LCM, yung gagawin natin is multiply this LCM both on the numerator and the denominator. So, to do this, we have 1 plus 1 over x all over 1 minus 1 over x. So, multiply both by x on the numerator and also the denominator. We don't change anything because this is just a multiplicative identity. Now, we just multiply a factor of 1. So, distribute this. So, distribute mo si x for every term. So, x times 1 and x times 1 over x. The same true with the denominator. X times 1 times x times 1 over x. So, the final answer is x plus 1 times x times x. Of course, makancel yung x. Magiging 1 na lang ito. All over x times 1 is equals to x. Then, x times 1 over x, makakancel yung x. So, magiging negative 1 na lang ito. So, this is our final answer. So, kung alin yung mas kampante ka or mas madali, so yun yung gagamitin mo na method. So, the first method is the patient method. Mahaba siya, but sure yung sagot mo. The second method is the LCM. Mas maikli siya. Tas, you can still arrive the same answer as your method 1. So, my question, class? Okay, none. So, let's try second example. So, sa second example, let's try the LCM na lang. And don't worry, we have 3 examples for this. So, for the second example, let's try the LCM. Para mas fair sila, meron din tayong example sa LCM. Meron din tayong separate example for patient method. So, for LCM, we have 1 minus x over x plus 1 all over 2 minus x minus 1 all over x. So, here, class, by using LCM method, first, determine the fractions. So, what are our fractions? We have here x. So, we have here x all over x plus 1. The second one is x minus 1 all over x what is the LCM or LCD of this? So, the LCD is just the product of x times x plus 1. So, ito pala yung i-multiply natin sa numerator at saka sa denominator. Now, to do this, so perform the operation. 1 minus x times x plus 1. So, kinokopya na natin yung given. Multiply the LCM, x times x plus 1. All over sa ibaba, 2 minus x minus 1 all over x times the LCD or LCM, x times x plus 1. Ito, i-distribute mo siya per term. So, for the first term, you have here x times x plus 1. The second term, maka-cancel yung x plus 1 dito. Therefore, x na lang. So, x times x equals to x squared all over. The same with our denominator. So, distribute muna. Sa first term, we have 2 times x plus 1. On the second term, maka-cancel out yung x. What's left is minus x minus 1 times x plus 1. Then, class, perform the operation. So, ang operation natin dito, the first one is distribute. Distribute mo tong x for every term. So, you have x squared minus x squared all over 2x squared. So, distribute natin 2x for every term here on the denominator. So, you have 2x squared minus 2x. Minus ito, this is similar to x plus y minus x minus y. X plus y times x minus y. This is x squared minus y squared. So, that's equal to minus x squared minus 1. Then, simplify again. X squared minus x squared, mas 0 na ito. So, what's left is negative x on the numerator. All over 2x squared minus 2x minus x squared. Negative 1 times negative 1, positive 1. So, plus 1. So, simplify further. Negative x all over 2x squared minus x squared. We only have x squared minus 2x plus 1. So, this would be its simplified form. But you can also convert it into factored form. Kasi this can still be equal to x minus 1 squared. So, same lang. This is simplified form. And this is factored form. So, ito, this is factored form. So, class, nagets ra? Do you have a question for this? So, nagets ra? So, you can prove it na lang by using the long method. Yung i-simplify mo muna yung numerator bago yung denominator. And then, simplify. So, let's jump with our last example for complex rational expression. So, erase muna natin to. So, our final example is we are given the third example. 1 minus 1 all over 1 minus 1 all over 1 minus x. So, let's use the long method. Since ito lang yung complex natin dito, kasi ito lang yung rational dito, ito is whole number. So, ito yung interest natin. So, here, we need to combine this one first. Ito yung nasa denominator. Combine muna natin. So, this is 1 all over. Yung LCD nila is x, 1 minus x. Then, 1 minus x divided by 1 times 1, we have 1 minus x minus 1. Then, simplify. This is equal to 1 minus 1 all over 1 minus 1, 0 na ito. So, we now have negative x na lang all over 1 minus x. Then, reciprocal this. Kasi 1 divided by this is just equal to 1 minus 1 times this reciprocal 1 minus x all over x. So, here we have 1. Then, meron pala tong negative dito. So, don't forget. So, negative 1 times negative x, positive. So, magiging 1 plus 1 minus x all over x. Then combine both. So let's solve for its LCD. LCD is x. X divided by 1 is x times 1 is x. Plus ito, 1 minus x. Then x minus x is equals to 0. So therefore, what's left is just 1 all over x. So this will be our simplified form. So class, na gets ra? Are you still following? Okay, next question. Okay. Question. Kani? Because x minus x, so ito ma-0 na. X minus x is 0, what's left is 1. So, nasunod na? Okay, how about the others? Okay ra? Okay. Okay ra ang uban? So, hilo man good na. Hilo man ang uban. Okay. So, let's continue. Okay. So, let's jump with the sa babaw. Ansa man? Next question. So, wala na. So, let's continue. Ito na may question. So, how about if you're given a special type of rational expression? So, kanin siyang rational expression from calculus. So, you can always met this like inyo na siya masugatan in your calculus subject na. So, I think the requisite of this subject. So, yung kasunod sa subject na ito is calculus 1. So, mamimit nyo to yung special type of rational expression. Kasi in calculus, let's say if you're going to take the derivative of two expression, you have v over u. So, if meron na kayong background sa calculus, this is just equal to the derivative, the function u dv minus v du over u squared. So, see, u dv minus v du over u squared, and this one will not be interchanged. Hindi pwede mauna yung v du minus u dv. Hindi pwede. Kasi yung subtraction is hindi siya commutative. It does not follow commutative property. So that's why this is just the derivative of v over u is equals to u dv minus v du over u squared. So ito, this one here forms a rational expression. So kapag hindi ka marunong mag-simplify ng rational expression, therefore it would be very difficult for you to simplify this derivative. So mahirapan ka talaga sa calculus mo na subject. So let's try. I will give you 2 examples, but you can also practice. Don't worry, I will give you a practice problem for this. So you have for our first example, let's say you are given 2 times x squared plus 9 minus 2x minus 5 times 2x all over x squared plus 9 raised to the power of 2. So, kani class, this is already of the form v du minus, u dv minus v du over u squared. So, hindi ko na lang ipapakita sa inyo kung paano yon yung pag-take ng derivative, as long as we have this rational expression of this type na magagamit natin sa calculus. So, to simplify this, of course, since yung numerator natin is complex, marami siyang mga operations, so yun yung una nating i-perform. So 2 times x squared plus 9, we have 2x squared plus 18 minus, I-distribute into x for every term here, so we have negative 4x squared The second term is negative 1 times negative. Magiging positive na siya. So, we have positive 10x all over x squared plus 9 squared. And class, important ito kasi included ito sa assessment nyo pati sa post-test for module 3. So, here, perform 2x squared minus 4x squared. We have negative 2x squared. For our 10, so we have plus 10x, then plus 18. All over x squared plus 9 squared. So class, for me, this is now the final answer. Can we factor out this? 2x, negative 2x squared plus 10x plus 18? Actually, hindi na. Bakit? Kasi if you take the possible factors for 18, we have 6 times 3. Diba? If we have combination of 6 times 3 and 2, we only have 6 times 2, 12, 3 times 1 is 3. So 12 and 3, kahit i-add mo pa or i-subtract, hindi pa rin siya mag-result sa 10. How about 9 and 2? If you multiply 9 times 2, 18, minus 2, hindi pa rin. Kahit na i-multiply pa mo yung 2 times 2 is 4, hindi pa rin siya. So that's why, yan na yung simplest form. But, take note class, factor out mo pala yung common niya. Kasi diba, factor of 2 ito. So, if we convert this into factored form, we can factor out 2 here. So, if we factor out 2, we have negative x squared plus 5x plus 9. So, yun lang. All over x squared plus 9 squared. So, ito lang yung factored form niya. Factored form and simplest form. But for negative x squared plus 5x plus 9, so, meron ba kayong ma-factor dito? Do you think class ma-factored? Is it right? Yung assumption ko, first assumption ko na wala nang factor yung yung negative 2x squared plus 10x plus 18. Actually, kung notice nyo, yung 9 is 3 times 3. Then 9 and 1. So, wala na talaga. Wala siyang, there's no possibility that 9 has a factor that if you're going to manipulate it, will result to positive 5. So, yun na. Yun na yung pinaka-simplest form niya. So, may tanong kayo dito? Do you have a question? So, wala. So, let's proceed to the final example for this topic on the special case. So, here, we have the next example. You are given 2x minus 5 times 3x squared minus x cubed times 2 all over 2x minus 5 squared. Yun. Again, class, kapag sa special type of rational expressions in this form, you just simplify the numerator. So, distribute mo tong 3x squared on each term here. So, you have 3x squared times 2x. So, you have 6x cubed. 3x squared times negative 5x, we have negative 15x squared. Minus 2 times x cubed, we have 2x cubed. All over 2x minus 5 squared. So, here, you have 6x cubed minus 2x cubed, magiging 4x cubed. Minus 15x squared all over 2x minus 5 raised to the power of 2. Ito yung simplified form natin. How about factored form? Since may common sa numerator, may common na x squared, so factor out x squared. What's left on the first term is 4x. The second term is just 15. All over 2x minus 5 raised to the power of 2. This is the factored form. So class, nagets ra? So if nagets, let's proceed to the the final one, the difference of quotient. So, bakit importante din natin malaman yung difference of quotient? Yung difference of quotient kasi, magagamit natin if we're going to find the limit of a certain function. So, pag sinasabing limit of a certain function, you can meet that one on your calculus subject na. So, doon na talaga sa sa calculus. And for the limit of a certain function, the resulting expression is in rational form. So let's have an example. Let's say the resulting the resulting expression in our limit of a function is in this form. So we have here 1 over x plus h minus 4 minus 1 all over x minus 4 divided by h. Mostly class, sa difference of quotient class, makikita nyo na may over x, over y, over h dito, such that kapag mag-input tayo ng value ng variable dito, which is 0, magiging indeterminate siya. So, ito yung difference of quotient. Please eliminate or please avoid the equation that will result to indetermination. So, ma-indeterminate siya. So, in order to make it into a definite or determinate form, so we need to perform or modify the numerator. So, i-modify natin itong nasa numerator. Baka meron siyang ma-cancel out. So, ganun din yung gagawin nyo kapag nakaabot na kayo sa calculus na part na yun, yung pag-solve ng limit of a certain function. So, let's simplify the numerator. So, solve for its LCD. LCD is x minus 4 times x plus h minus 4. Then, divide. So, what's left on the first one is just x minus 4 times 1 is x minus 4. For the second, if we divide this to the second denominator, the resulting is x plus h minus 4 times 1. We have negative. Don't forget the negative. So, x plus h minus 4 all over h. Then, simplify. Simplify natin. So, x minus 4. Ito, i-distribute natin to. Every term, yung negative. So, negative x minus h plus 4 na siya. All over x minus 4 times x plus h minus 4 all over pa dyan siya class sa h. Here, x minus x is 0. Negative 4 plus 4 is 0. What's left is negative h. So, we have negative h all over x minus 4 times x plus h minus 4. Now, class, para makuha tong h dito, we proceed to multiplication and just take the reciprocal of this h. So, we have multiplied by 1 over h. Yan yung reciprocal niya. Since we have h on the numerator and the denominator, we can cancel them out. So, what's left is just negative 1 all over x minus 4 times x plus h minus 4. So, see class, kapag we equate h equals to 0 in this time, hindi na siya mag-negative yung ating, or hindi na siya maging 0 yung denominator natin. Therefore, na-eliminate na natin yung pagiging indeterminate niya. So, this is already a determinate na rational expression. So, class, nag-gets ra class? Okay. So, let's try another example or the last example. So here, for example number 2, how about if you are given a radical expression? So for radical expression naman tayo, balik tayo sa radical expression. X plus h minus square root of x all over h. So here, kapag we equate h is equal to 0, magiging indeterminate siya. So let's convert this into a form that will not make this expression indeterminate. So, since meron tayong radical symbol sa numerator, we can apply rationalization on the numerator side. Since dalawa yung term niya, so we can use conjugation. So, remember class, we conjugate this term again. So, for its conjugation, since subtraction ito, addition yung conjugation niya. So, x plus h plus square root of x all over the same pa rin sa denominator, x plus h plus square root of x. Then, perform the multiplication. So, on the numerator, this is just the difference of two squares. So, we have square root of x plus h squared minus square root of x squared all over h multiplied by x plus h plus square root of x. So here, simplify the numerator further. So since the same yung exponent tsaka index, maka-cancel out na yung square root sign. So what's left is x plus h. The same thing with the second equation. What's left is just the x. So x all over h times square root of x plus h plus square root of x. So here, we have x minus x is 0. So what's left is positive h. So h all over h times square root of x plus h plus square root of x. So meron tayong h sa numerator and the denominator, then we can cancel them out. So what's left is 1 all over square root of x plus h plus square root of x. So now let's verify. How about if we plug in again h equal to 0? What's left on the denominator is just the square root of x plus square root of x. Therefore, meron siyang value. It is not an indeterminate form. So therefore, this is already a determinate form of our rational expression. So class, nag-gets ra class yung second example natin. Okay. So in your module 3, para added information, in-include nila doon yung real life applications. So kung nababasa nyo sa module post-test na part, meron doon mga problems na may mga equations. So let's try kung paano i-solve. Unang-una, of course, required talaga yan na i-derive mo yung formula. So follow lang the steps on how to simplify expressions para hindi ka malilito sa pag-simplify din ng formula. So here we have the Lensmaker's equation on this form wherein 1 over f is equals to n minus 1 multiplied by 1 over r1 plus 1 over r2, wherein our f here is the focal length, diba? Lensmaker, more on lens. And for your information, meron tayong dalawang klase ng lens. Kasi yung r1 at saka r2 dito denotes our radius, diba? Where r1 and radio are the radii of curvature of your front and back surfaces of the lens. Meron kasi tayong dalawang klase ng lens. We have convex. We also have concave. So, yun. Merong mataba. Merong sexy. So, yun. Ito is yung concave. Ito yung convex. So, itong curvature nila, meron itong mga radius. So, this is the relationship between the focal length. Yung n natin is refraction. Index of refraction. So, meron yan sa physics. So, you're going to meet this in your physics. Kasi yung light mo, meron yang kapag lens, this is the incident, this is the light that will pass. So, meron kang incident or the angle of reflection, and we also have the angle of refraction. So, meron yan. And n indicates our index of refraction. So, in physics, you will going to learn this one further. So, but in our example, we are to find pala the rational expression in this case. So, express f as a rational expression. So, it means that you only have f on the other side. So, f lang ha sa other side of the equation. Hindi siya 1 over f. Hindi rin siya f times certain number. Dapat f lang talaga kasi as a function of a rational expression. So, let's try to solve na f lang talaga yung maiwan sa isang side. So, how are we going to do that? So, again, take one step at a time. So, we have here 1 over f is equals to n minus 1 times 1 over r1 plus 1 over r2 is since ito yung mas complex, ito yung unahin natin pag-combine. So we have n minus 1 times LCD is R1 times R2. Then R1 times R2 divided by R1 is R2 times 1 is R2 plus R1 times R2 divided by R2 is R1 times 1 is R1. So here, class, we have 1 over F. Then multiply. So n minus 1 times R1 plus R2 all over R1, R2. Here we can do cross multiplication. So i-cross multiply natin ito tsaka ito. So kapag i-cross multiply natin, we have F times n minus 1 times R1 plus R2. Yung sa kabila naman is 1 times R1 plus R2 or just simply R1 times R2. Since F lang yung nasa right side natin, sa left side, so we need to divide both side by n minus 1 times R1 plus R2. Then the same thing on the other side, n minus 1 times R1 plus R2. So, makancel to. What's left is already our F. So, F natin or yung focal length natin is equals to R1 times R2 all over n minus 1 times R1 plus R2. So, this is now our rational expression for our focal length. So, class, na-gets ra class? Do you have a question for this? So, na-gets ra? So, the second requirement, the second requirement is evaluate F if we are given some parameters or some values of our parameters. Let's say our n here is equals to 1.5, our R1 is equals to 0.1 meters, our R2 is equals to 0.2 meters. Therefore, class, consistent yung units natin. Sa radius natin is in meters, sa radius natin na isa is meters. Therefore, expected na yung answer natin sa ating focal length is also in meters. Now, index of refraction does not have any units. Why? Because index of refraction is in radians. Because this is sign of a number. So, yan yun siya kapag na-mimit mo yan sa physics. So, let's substitute that one in our rational expression. So, F is equals to R1 is equal to 0.1. So, 0.1 times R2 is 0.2. All over n natin is 1.5 minus 1 times R1 plus R2. So, R1 is 0.1 plus 0.2. So, get a calculator. So, meron akong calculator dito. Multiply 0.1 times 0.2 all over 1.5 minus 1 times 0.1 plus 0.2. We have an answer of 2 over 15 meters. So, our focal length pala, class, is 2 over 15 meters. So, class, naintindihan ra? Nasabtan? Is it clear? Okay. So, let's go to the next question. How about if you are given this figure? This is a rectangle figure. As you can see, meron siyang malaking rectangle that has a dimension of 2x plus 1 and x, and we also have a shaded rectangle on the inside, x with the dimension x times x over 2. Now here, class, may question ako. Let's say, solve for the probability that the marble would hit on this shaded region. So, ito na. The probability of the marble that would hit on this shaded region. So, how are we going to determine the formula of the probability? So, remember your statistics. So, probability of a marble is just equal to the yung outcome mo sa ganito na situation. So, ano yung outcome natin? Yung possible outcome natin. Yung possible outcome natin or yung goal natin is to hit the shaded region. So, shaded region or shaded area all over, since probability man, so all over the total possible result. So, ano yung total possible result kapag mag-drop ka ng marble? Of course, yung possible na mangyayari, it could be in this whole thing. So itong whole na area. So all over the total area. So yan yung probability ng ating marble. And what is the shaded area here? So this is just length times width. Our length is in x, our width is x over 2. All over the total area, what is our total area? This is 2x plus 1 times x. So we have here 2x plus 1 times x. As you've noticed, meron tayong common na x sa numerator at sa denominator. So this can be cancelled out. What's left is x over 2 divided by 2x plus 1. So proceed to division. You have x over 2 times the reciprocal of this. This is 1 over 2x plus 1. So the resulting answer is x all over 2 times 2x plus 1. This is in factor form. You can also simplify this as 4x plus 2 pala ito, hindi to 4. This is equal to 2. So this is equal to 2. This is the probability of a marble to hit on the shaded area. So class, okay na? Na-gets na class? Don't worry, the probability, you will going to met that one in your statistics na subject. So later on. So okay na? Walang tanong? Depende. So, mas better yun if you will have your advanced reading. So, advanced reading lang since nasa college na kayo. So, basa-basa, explore, search. But don't worry, yung mga instructor naman, hindi naman yung magbibigay ng mga questions na hindi nyo pa natakol. As far as what you have right now, diba? Yung natapos nyo lang is senior high school. Pero I think senior high school, meron na kayong probability. Sa time ko, during my time, sa 4th year ko in high school, meron na kaming probability sa statistics. So here, again class, probability din ng marble. Kasi this real life application using rational expressions. Kasi dito, yung probability kasi is in fraction form. So therefore, magagamit natin to na topic. So again class, probability ng marble to hit on this shaded region. So this is just a probability of the marble. What is our shaded area here class? This blue here. Unsay shape ani niya? Hindi to siya square. Hindi din to triangle. This is a quadrilateral and can be classified as trapezoid. So remember, trapezoid formula is 1/2 times the sum of the bases. Base 1 is x plus base 2 x plus 4 times the height. What is the height of this shaded portion? That is 4 over x times x plus 2. So we have 4 over x times x plus 2. All over the total area. What is the total area? You have the height of this triangle. So this one. That is x plus 2 plus 4 over x times x plus 2 multiplied by the the base, which is x plus 4, but don't forget the 1/2 kasi 1/2 yung formula ng triangle natin is area sa triangle is equals to 1/2 base times the height. So this would be our base, this is our height. So yun lang. So don't forget sa mga areas natin class. And since we have common factor here, 1/2 on the numerator and 1/2 on the denominator, then we can cancel this one directly. So cancel natin to. Then perform this operation. So x plus x is 2x. So we have here 2x plus 4 times distribute this one. So you have 4 plus 2 over x. 4 times 2 is 8. So 8 over x all over this one. So i-combine natin. X plus 2 plus, this is 4 plus 8 over x times x plus 4. Then, simplify each expressions on the numerator and the denominator. So let's solve for x here. So 2x plus 4 times x. So x divided by 1 is x times 4. We have 4x. X divided by x equals to 1. 1 times 8 is 8. So 4x plus 8. All over the same din dito sa pangalawa. We have x. X divided by 1 is x. X times x is x squared. Plus x divided by 1 is x times 2 is 2x. Plus x divided by 1 is x times 4 is we have 4x. Then x divided by x equals to 1 times 8 equals to 8. Multiplied by x plus 4. So here, we simplify further. So, erase muna natin to. Anyways, we already know this one. So, simplify natin further. So, here we take we multiply the numerator. So, we have 2x plus 4 times 4x plus 8 all over x. And then, on the denominator, so, erase muna natin to. On the denominator, meron tayong mako-combine. So, we have here x squared. Then, 2x plus 4x equals to 6x. So, here, 2x plus 4x is 6x. Then, plus 8 all over x. Then, multiplied by x plus 4. As you've noticed, class, yung numerator at denominator, meron silang over x. So, maka-cancel out na ito. Then, we need to find a factor of x squared plus 6x plus 8. So, ano ba yung factor ng x squared plus 6x plus 8? We can rewrite that one as, so isulat na natin. So, natanggal na yung denominator ng dalawa na x. So, factor out natin. Factor ng x squared plus 6x plus 8 is just equal to x plus 4 and x plus 2 times x plus 4. Then, as you've noticed sa ating numerator, mga-factor yung 2 dito na isa. So, we have 2 times x plus 2. We also have, ma-factor din natin yung 4 dito. So, 4 times x plus 2. All over x plus 4 times x plus 2 times x plus 4. So, therefore, maka-cancel out yung x plus 2 dito. How about x plus 4? Wala na. So, our final answer pala, so, i-delete muna natin to. So, I hope you understand this process. So, ito pala, again, this is just equal to 2 times 4 times x plus 2 all over x plus 4 squared. Or simply equal to 8 times x plus 2 all over x plus 4 squared. So, class, nakuha ra? So, why naglibog? Question. So, nagets ra, class? Okay ra? Okay, wala na may question, ani? Regarding with this.